Hey y'all, it's Candace, and we're back for another sweet talk. So today I'm gonna be doing like a small recap. Like recap review of Love is Blind season 4. I've been watching these shows and I couldn't wait to do a video on it. So let's get into it. All right, so Chelsea and Alex. Honestly, Chelsea's my girl. Like, I love me some Chelsea. I think she's beautiful. I love her energy. She's like calm vibes. Alex, on the other hand, no, it's a no for me. Like, when they first were talking, just not even him talking to Chelsea, just him talking in general in the pods, it was giving scammer to me. Like, even his mannerisms and the way he was pacing around, it just felt like he was really trying hard to sell himself, which, in my opinion, I just thought that it's supposed to be like opening up and letting someone get to know the real you. But it kind of felt like he was like scouting. And so, yeah, obviously Micah told him, we should see other people. He was crying like a baby. And then he basically second chooses Chelsea. And Chelsea's just like, oh, thank you, which it couldn't be me. But at the end of the day, she's married. That's her man. They're together as far as I know. So good for them. But what I will say is that I don't like Alex for her. I think that Chelsea is a genuine person. I don't think that he's not genuine. He was complaining about everything along the way, like moving to her house and being stuck in the house. Like, go outside, go shop, go do something, like walk the dog. You do not have to stay in the house. So, those things to me, like when I'm dating someone and they start complaining about like basic aspects of a relationship that is like across the board standard, that to me is always a red flag. Because I'm like, do you want to be in this relationship or not? Which, not gonna lie, my girl Chelsea, she caught it. That's why that's my girl. Because she was like, are you even ready to settle down? And he's like, yeah, of course. But, I don't know. Kwame Alex, yeah, it's a no for me, dog. Tiffany and Brett. Obviously, no slander will be tolerated. We love Tiffany. We love Brett. It's a match made in heaven, a true, real love story. Not to mention a black love story, which I don't want to mention the fact that they're black, but I love it. I'm black, if you couldn't tell. So I love that, they found each other, found black love. It's beautiful. I think they complement each other well. Like, Tiffany is a little bit more of an upbeat type of drunk person. And Brett is that laid back, whatever type of guy, which is a perfect match. Like, my husband, when I get married one day, if I get married one day, I'm sure he's going to have to be something like Brett, just like a quiet, chill, laid back person, because I cannot have someone as lit as me. And I love how he just totally embraces Tiffany and all her selfness. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with Tiffany by far, but it's just like a little bit of a contrast with the personalities between the two of them. And I love how they just still blended anyways. Like, it's beautiful. So yes, we stand Tiffany and Brett. Absolutely. Wish them nothing but the best. Okay, so Zach and Bliss. Zach and Bliss, Zach and Bliss, Zach and Bliss. Like, I don't know. I love it. I love their love story. I think it is true love, but I don't like what Zach did. Like, I'm sorry, but, and maybe I'm just too harsh of a person. Like, maybe everybody deserves a 500th chance, but like, if me and you are professing our love together and you run away from me in insecurity and fear, like, I'm not going to take you back, because to me that represents like not readiness. Like, that represents, he ran, he saw the connection with him and Bliss, and it was so deep for him that he literally ran scared and chose Irina, which was the total other end of the spectrum. He was like, I'm not going to get much here, so let me just go there, because this girl, she's great. She has a great family, and I'm not good enough. Which, I feel bad for him that he's so insecure. Maybe his life was really hard. I don't know if he grew up in a trailer park or something, because your mom being a stripper, I mean, I don't know if he was like immensely teased about that in school, but I'm sure he's not the only person whose mom was a stripper. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I think it's horrible, and not to mention, which a lot of people mention, but I also have to mention, if Irina wasn't acting the way she was acting with him, he would have never went back to Bliss. Like, Irina was like, oh hell, like when she saw him, she was like, oh my god, this is not what I thought it was gonna be. So she's really the one who sent him back to Bliss, if you really want to talk about it. And that's the part where it gets a little like confusing for me, because I just felt like Bliss, it's giving like it's giving second choice. I mean, is there no standard that like says, well, I should be your first choice? And like I mean, guys cheat, all type of stuff. You never know if you're somebody's first or second choice, to be honest. But I don't know, it's just weird to me. But they seem to really like each other. I think that Bliss is the better woman for him. Like, I love Zach. I think he's a sweet guy. Like, I don't think anything is wrong with him. So, in that respect, I think they're a cute couple. Like, they hit it off, and I'm glad they came back full circle and found each other. That that stuff like that kind of made me like the show a little bit. But yeah, moving on. All right, so now Paul and Micah, I'm really not going to spend too much time on them because they're boring, lame, and uninteresting. But what I will say is that I don't know what Micah was thinking, that Paul was gonna say yes. Like, not to be like that, but girl, you're so out of his league in every way, shape, and form. Like, I don't even know anything about Paul. He's such a quiet person. Like, just because he's a scientist doesn't mean he has to be, like, lame. I'm a nerd. Like, I'm a software engineer, so I'm a tech nerd, but I don't know. He just gave absolutely nothing. And Micah, she has so much quote unquote personality, which I don't think it's personality. I think it's like mean girl tendencies. Her drunk friends were trash. I'm so sorry. Shelby is a trash bag. Like, I would not allow my friend to do something like that. Straight like that. Like, I get, my friends, we get lit and we do what we do. We talk too much, but we stop each other. We say, hey, girl, chill. Because what you're not finna do is sit here and disrespect my man because you had one too many. That's a no-no. And how you gonna say all that in the first time you meeting somebody? You know what I'm saying? That is rude and disrespectful. Shelby has no class. She's just gross, if you ask me. And Micah she can't be too much different. I feel like in the beginning, we were really seeing the real Micah when she was with Irina, because they were just mean girls. When she got with Paul, I felt like she realized, like, okay, this is a good guy. It's my one chance, like, to make it right. And I feel like she tried to tame herself a little bit, try to, like, sit back and shut up a little bit more, play submissive, basically, and, just for the sake of the relationship, which it's like a double-edged sword, because in that way I actually felt bad for her a little bit, because I felt like she was trying to change and like be a better person because of the relationship with Paul, which it's always good when you're in a relationship with someone who brings the best out of you and makes you a better person. That's what it looked like was happening there. But unfortunately, Paul wasn't with it. He just said no. He was like, no, dog. Now, what he said about her being a mom, that was stupid. I don't like it. I think it was like not true. You know how guys are when they wanna break up or whatever. Like, guys have an issue with just being honest. It's very rare that you'll find a man that's going to tell you how he really feels. And I think it's unfortunate when guys say things that are even more hurtful than the truth. Because him saying that she was going to be a good mother, he doesn't know anything about that. He doesn't even know anything about being a mother. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't even have any kids, so he doesn't even know anything about being a father. But definitely not a mother. And since Micah has no kids, how are you going to be able to gauge if she's going to be a good mom or not? So I just thought that was super whack. And it kind of showed a little bit about him because, like I said, he gave us absolutely nothing the whole time. But that I didn't like it. So, whatever. They don't need to be together. Who cares? Next. So last and very much least, I saved the worst for last. We're going to talk about Marshall and Jackie. Okay, crazy Jackie. So, this relationship right here, this is like more close to what's really going on outside in these streets. Jackie, girl, bye. She's just a toxic female that wants a toxic man so they can slap each other around all day. And, most likely that comes from upbringing, from where she's from, what she's used to. And, I don't hold it against her, but I do because I don't know how old she is. Like, I'm sure she's older than me. I'm 26. I don't know if she's older than me. But at my small age, I've already realized that toxicity is not what I want in a relationship, and toxic people is not what I want to be around. Not relationships, not friends, not family. It's like really detrimental to your mental health and your well-being as an individual. I got one body, I got one mind for this whole lifetime. I'm trying to preserve it. So like, I don't know, Jackie, she's just off the charts to me. Like, she's just crazy as hell. And then Marshall, the funny thing about Marshall, I feel like a lot of people think he's the victim in this. And I personally don't victimize him at all. I think he's getting exactly what he wants. It's a lot of talk about the preference thing and how he doesn't like black women and etc. this and etc. that. I mean, I know he's dating one now. I'm not really going to get into all that because, that stuff. Like, I realize that a lot of black men that have the preference issue, it's a deep-rooted issue, and it's not how they really feel. They don't really have a preference. They have some type of internal battle going on where they're like, right now I can't deal with black women. But, like Marshall, they always come back around because a preference is what? It's nothing. A woman is a woman. Like, at some point we have to realize that race is just skin deep. You know what I'm saying? Yes, there's cultural differences, but everybody has common sense. And actually, what black men don't realize is that cultural differences makes it harder for them to try to go out and like be a part of another culture family. Because most of the time other cultures are not with it. They don't want it. How are you going to keep the bloodline pure if you mix in and mingle in? So whatever, not gonna get too much into the race thing, but Marshall, he really creeps me out. I know he seems like a nice guy, and of course all bad guys seem nice. I won't say he's charismatic, so I feel like charismatic people are mostly just scammers, like Kwame, like Alex here, totally charismatic because he's Cap. I don't think Marshall was too charismatic. I think that he just doesn't get that he's his own demise, like at least in this relationship. Because like he said, he's used to dating girls like Jackie. And he saw her as a project. He's the project manager. He wants to fix her. And I'm just like, who are you to do something like that? Like, what makes you think you have those abilities and superpowers? Are you the good Lord? Can you conjure up something good and give it to her and make her like whole again? Because to go into a relationship or be in a relationship with that type of mindset, to me, is extremely creepy. It doesn't represent genuine likeness or loveness. You know what I'm saying? To me, it seems like I know people who date down. It's to make themselves feel better. You date down because that up is gonna be like, no thank you, and maybe Marshall has insecurities. Maybe he's been rejected a lot by black women. He is kind of short looking. But I don't think he's a victim. I think that he wanted a toxic situation. He thought he was gonna fix Jackie and, fix yourself. Worry about yourself, because if you out here looking for people to fix on, that's predatory, in my opinion. It's predatory. And, I don't want to say he got what he deserved, but it's like full circle. It come back full circle. You go out with bad intentions, you feel the results of those intentions. And I'm not saying that he, wasn't on the show looking for love, but I also felt like he was holding back a lot of himself, his reactions, his responses. He was holding back a lot. And I don't like that. I feel like people who hold back in times of emotion in that way, it's one thing to hold back and still communicate. It's one thing to hold back and take a break and then communicate. It's another thing to hold back completely, because that's fake. You know, you're not being honest about how you feel. And when Jackie was emasculating him and calling him those things, you know, the way he was reacting and responding, it just wasn't enough for me. Like, I would have been pissed, okay? I'm not saying punch a hole in the wall or the girl's head, but give me something real. Now, when they were at the Chelsea's party, I think it was, and what's his name? Dangling Earring. I don't even care about his name. His name is Dangling Earring. When Dangling Earring came in, Marshall started acting weird. Like, did nobody else see that he was all antsy and stuff? Like, I'm like, Marshall, take a chill pill. You need one, because he was like, oh no, like. Then he's like forcing Jackie to put the coat on in a really weird, like, aggressive and, to me, somewhat abusive. I don't want to say that he's an abuser, but that behavior to me was very weird and concerning. It was a red flag to me, straight across the board. And also, it was a huge red flag to me because it was so different from the way he acts normal, right? The normal Marshall that we see, totally different from this antsy, like, paranoid, crazy acting one. And mind you, this is all off the strength of someone else walking in the door. Like, never would I ever be so bothered by a next person entering that I start visibly acting crazy. So, you know, that behavior to me, that's more along the lines of the real Marshall. That whole project comment, that's more along the lines of the real Marshall. I think he's probably like a verbal abuser, but he didn't get the chance because Jackie gave him a nice roast. She gave him a big job. He talking about he want a project. No, you got a whole job, like a 6-month contract project. Good luck. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I do feel like Jackie, I don't feel bad for Marcia. I don't think she played him. I think Jackie is lost. You know, she doesn't know what she wants. It's clear. She doesn't realize, she's not in a place to even begin to seek what she wants because she doesn't know what she wants. And she's not in a place to figure out what she wants because she's not settled. Like, she's uneasy. Whatever, that scene when she was in the bathroom and crying, and you know, clearly it was heavily edited because she barely made any sense what she was saying, but it's clear that she has like personal issues that she has to conquer first before she even try to be in a relationship. So, you know, I ain't gonna make Jackie the villain, even though she for sure is the villain. In my opinion, even though Jackie is like the actual villain, to me, Kwame is the villain. And like, I hope him and Chelsea last because he's faking, okay? And I feel like he might even be faking just because he's so desperate to be with a white woman. No offense if any white women are listening. Love y'all. You know, I done lived with some of y'all in the past. Y'all cool or whatever. Love me a white woman. But he seems like a self-hater type. He seems like he doesn't... Oh, I'm supposed to be talking about Jackie and them, but whatever. This is the end of the video anyway, so I'll talk about what I want. But yeah, he's a self-hater type, and he seems extremely desperate to be with a white woman. And he'll literally put on any chameleon mask just to be in that white woman's house. So, you know, good luck to all these people. Overall, I would give this season a 1 out of 10. I would say it's like a... I mean, this show for me in general is like a 4. The show is pretty trash. It's like literally what I watch because there's nothing else to watch. And honestly, I only started watching it because so much people were talking about it. I hate not being in the know. So I had to get in the know, you know what I'm saying? But I'll say maybe like a 5.5. Just because I don't want to be like 0, maybe a 6. You know, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen, but it is pretty bad. I didn't like the weddings. Like, I pretty much couldn't even finish them because it was really traumatizing to to watch people say no and like break someone's heart to their face. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. It's evil of Netflix to force everybody to go through with all the way up until the wedding point. You really don't know what's gonna happen, and then you get dubbed. I'm from New York, so dub means you get left. Dub. A dub is $20. Anyways, but yeah, so that's my video, y'all. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll be back soon. If you guys have any suggestions, like what I should talk about, what shows you wanted me to hear me talk about, you can leave things in the comments. I'll be checking them. So yeah, later, y'all.